Howdy folks, Marvin Forte here, KFNW Director. I'm here to talk to you about our tour event number 1 at Tenmile Lakes. If you go to our website, go under Tournaments, click on Schedule, and you'll see that there's a detail column and a Tourney X column for each of our events. Let's click on the details for Tenmile Lakes rather. Right here you can click on that to get to Tourney X as well. Scroll down, there's an overview here of Tenmile Lake and some information about previous events that we've had there. This is a qualifier for the KFNW Kayak Bass Classic and for the West Coast Championship. So this is your first path to get in. Tournament schedule is here. It's got all the dates and times. I recommend you go here and make sure you record all that. I will send all of this information via an email to everybody who's signed up for the event as well, so you'll have a copy in your phone and your email. The pre-event briefing. Here is the location for the pre-event briefing. This is the main ramp at the county park. We're going to try and do it up here in the pavilion area. That's where we'll try and do the pre-event briefing and the awards. If for some reason we can't set up here, then we'll probably set up in this overflow lot or maybe in this empty area over here. I recommend for that pre-event briefing especially that everybody park over here or over here, or just walk over if you're over at the campground. This is the campground over there. Just walk over and keep this free for anybody who's out there fishing or enjoying the water on Friday. Pre-event briefing details. So this is the video that I'm talking about there. A signed copy of the liability release is required from everybody. There are downloads here for the adult release and the minor and adult release. And there's also a download for the electric motor inspection. We are going to be doing a liability release for every single event this year, a hard copy. So I recommend you download that, fill it out, and bring it with you. If for some reason you forget it or you can't do that, by all means, we'll have some there and you can fill it out on the spot. That's not a problem. Electric motor inspection. We do need the form from everyone, but we're not going to be inspecting every motor this year. The form is going to tell us which setups are something a little unusual that we might need to take a look at. So once we look at that form, then we can assess whether or not we need to do an inspection, and we'll send a couple people out to do those inspections. We're going to do board checks, so bring your board, and if you've got a backup board, bring that as well. We're going to take a look at those, make sure your board is clean and dry. You will have a chance to ask questions at the meeting. You've got to come to the meeting. If you can't come to the meeting for some reason, you need to let us know that you're not going to be able to make the meeting, and you need to connect with another angler to get them your liability release form and your bump board so that we can do the inspection on it. And then you'll need to connect with them once you arrive to get that before fishing the event, of course. This is mandatory. We're doing it this year. We've switched to this format of a day before meeting and not doing morning check-ins, which is great for the anglers in the morning, especially on these big bodies of water where the launches are really far apart. But it does require you to do a few extra things for us this year, including coming a little bit early to get to that meeting. There are the downloads like we talked about. There's not much to talk about in terms of the boundaries for this event. It's both lakes. It's North Tenmile Lake and South Tenmile Lake. That seems to be labeled wrong in Google, but this is the canal that connects the two lakes. So it's the only way that you can get between the two. It's a fairly narrow canal, but there's plenty of room through it for you and boats and things like that. Just be careful when you're going through there. It's a big lake, a lot of fingers. There's some places to get out of the wind. It's going to be windy. It's looking a little bit rough. It's looking like the the high gusts might be in the 25-mile-an-hour range, and the standing wind will be probably between 10 and 15 or so. So it's going to be a little annoying, but it shouldn't be dangerous. We'll keep watching that as we go. Temperatures are pretty good. Water temp seems to be pretty good, and air temp seems to be pretty good. It's sort of borderline dry suit weather. So if you've got a dry suit, you've got bibs, probably a good idea to wear it. But it's right on that cusp where that 120 rule where you would or would not wear immersion gear. Here's all the information about licensing, waterway access permit. If you're coming from out of state, you will need a waterway access permit in addition to your fishing license. I know a lot of the Washington folks don't have their motors registered. Law enforcement there doesn't seem to care. They tell our folks that they don't need to register their kayak with a motor. So Oregon's supposed to reciprocate that. If you come down here, you don't need to come here and register your motor in Oregon. If you're a Washington resident or an Idaho resident, that's not necessary. But just be aware that that's what's going on with that. You will need that waterway access permit if you're an Oregon resident and you have registered your motor. If you've got a motor on your kayak, then you don't need that waterway access permit. There's an aquatic invasive species certificate that's involved in your motor registration, so you're already covered for that. If you are an Oregon resident, you do need to have that motor registered. And Idaho residents, same thing. You need to have it registered in Idaho. You don't need to register it here in Oregon. We already talked about boundaries. Here's a list of the launches. There are not very many, and most of them are really in one spot. These last three are in one spot, and then the North Lake is a little further up. The North Lake launch, there's not much parking there, so be aware of that if you're thinking about going there. I know a few people are staying there, and that's fine. You'll have parking at your campsite. But if you're thinking about going up there to launch, there's only, I think, about 10 spaces. So I think most people are going to be launching down here at the county boat ramp. Safe notes we'll get into in just a minute. Your tournament director for this event is Matthew Burdick. Got his email and phone right here if you need to reach out to him with any specifics. Of course, you can reach out to me too, but Jim Davis will not be at this event. But Matt and I will be running the show. So here's some more details. Fish submissions, especially for the newbies. Minimum length for this event is 12 inches. If you try to upload a fish that's less than 12 inches, it will not allow you to upload it. So be aware of that. That means if you accidentally put in the wrong length for a fish, it's going to give you an error. It will not let you upload it. So if that happens, take a look at the length. You probably punched in the wrong length by mistake. Tourney X auto culls. This is important for the new people. We've seen people lose events because they didn't realize that Tourney X does this. If you catch more than 5 fish, don't upload just 5 fish, even though that's what we're counting for the score, because one of those fish could get denied or the length deducted for something like an open mouth, and you're gonna lose as a result of that. You're gonna drop down in the standings or potentially not even win anything. So if you upload 10 fish, it puts them all in there and it finds the 5 best and it puts those in your scoring bag. And then the others are held in reserve. And if one fish then gets denied or deducted, it'll move the next biggest fish up for you. So use that tool. Bycatch is not allowed. If you catch a salmon there, you can't keep it. You got to throw it back. That's state law because we're fishing a tournament. The identifier cannot be on top of the fish. It needs to be above the fish or below the fish or near the tail or near the head, but it can't be covering any portion of the fish. Our rules say it can't cover a significant portion of the fish. Don't leave that up to the judges to decide whether that's significant or not. Don't put the identifier covering any portion of the fish. Make sure the mouths are closed. We are strict about this. If the mouth is cracked a little bit, we're going to deduct you a ½ inch. If the mouth's closed but the lips open a little bit, that's okay. There are some fish that their jaws are just shaped that way, and that's all right. But do the best you can to get the mouth as closed as possible. Your hands can be on the fish. They can be somewhere between the eye and the tail fin. They can't be on the caudal fin, on the fin itself. They can be on the fleshy part. The thing to look out for is the gill plate. You can have your hand up over the gill plate. That's okay, as long as it's not covering any of the eye, which will get the fish deducted. And your hand can be behind the gill plate. But what I caution people about is, let's say this is the curve of the gill plate. Don't put your hand right up next to the end of that gill plate. For one thing, the fish can flop around and your hand can end up under that gill plate by mistake and you didn't realize it was under there. The other thing is, though, the gill flap can be flared up, and if your hand is like this, we're going to see that, and we're going to realize that when the flap comes down, it's going to be on top of your hand, and you're going to get denied for that reason. We've had to deny fish for that. So my advice, make sure your hand is over the gill plate, up on it, or it's well back behind it. Angler conduct. No cannabis, no drugs, no alcohol before or during the event, the meeting, the pre-event meeting, and the awards. Parking pass is required. Definitely the county park has a parking pass machine. I think you can use a card in that, but you might want to bring some cash just in case. Keep the ramp clear for boats and for other kayak anglers. This is a biggie. I've got a little map here of a suggested thing that we do. This is the main ramp. We probably should try to keep that center lane for trailers and keep these others for people that are rolling their kayaks down on carts from the parking lot. This is a wider area. It's a lot more room for the trailers. So get there early. Make sure that you're set up and ready to go. You don't have to do a morning check-in because we're doing that pre-event briefing, so you've got time to get there early and take your time and get all your stuff set up and get it in position. You want to get your kayaks down there. There's a lot of space on these docks to tie up kayaks. And you can even come out here and just float as long as you're not like past the docks. Don't go past the docks, but stay in this area right in here and wait until start time. Let's see. Okay, virtual check-in. Service is pretty good here. It's a little bit sketchy, but it's pretty good. So use virtual check-in on TourneyX. Go in there and check in, and you need to be sure, if I scroll back up on this screen, you need to be sure and do that in this right here. In this virtual check-in and selfie time frame. So you've got a half an hour that's right before launch that you need to do that check-in, and you need to do a selfie. I've got some more information about this here. So we're going to insist, because of this meeting the morning before and not having a chance to do a physical check-in in the morning, we've got to make sure people are launching in legal spots, and we've got to make sure they're launching at the proper time, that they're not launching early. So you need to take that photo in that window. If for some reason you're going to be launching late, just let us know that you're launching late before you do. And, that's not a big problem. The main thing is we don't want people launching early and then doing their check-in out on the water. Not allowed. That's going to get you disqualified. So what you need to do is take a selfie of yourself, and preferably with your kayak in the background of that shot, and that needs to have the timestamp and the GPS for where you are, and just keep that photo on your phone. You can't upload it to TourneyX. There's no good way at this time to upload that to TourneyX, so just keep it on your phone. And if you're one of the winners at the awards, we're going to ask to see that photo. And in the past, we've asked for that, and people have been sporadic about whether they did it or not. We're going to take a much harder line about that this year. You're going to get penalized in some way if you don't have that photo. And if it happens more than once, you're going to get disqualified. So don't mess around with that. Take that selfie. The good news is most of the people are going to be at this one launch, and a few over at at the north ramp. So help each other remember to do this. And Matt and I will be there, and all of our assistant directors, and we'll be reminding people as well for this first event. It's nice that this one everybody's kind of together, so we can remind everybody and make sure they do it. But we're taking that really seriously this year, so I can't emphasize that enough. Okay, some other conduct stuff. Don't encroach on another angler without talking to them. If you see somebody fishing a shoreline, definitely don't cut in between them and the shoreline. And if you're thinking about fishing somewhere close to them, ask them what they're doing. If there's any question, just ask. Just talk to them. Find out what they're doing and ask them if it's okay if you fish, over here or this direction, whatever. Don't leapfrog people where, you go past them and then you cut them off, where then they've got to go past you. That's kind of a pain. If you need to leave early, this is a biggie. You've got to let us know. You really need to contact Matt Burdick. His information is in there, and let him know that you have left early. If you do leave early, you are going to be disqualified. So if you didn't catch any fish, or you're not doing well and you don't care, well, then that's fine. You'll be disqualified. You'll be removed from the standings, but it may not matter to you. But just know that if you leave early, you are going to be disqualified. What we're going to do is, before the awards start, we're going to check everybody in, make sure that everybody's there. And if somebody's missing and they haven't told us, then we're going to stop the awards until we can track them down. If we have to, we're going to call emergency services. We're going to leave ourselves and go looking for them. Don't put us in that position. Make sure that we know that you've left early if you leave. Check your submissions before the upload deadline. This is a biggie. Look at all your uploads after you've uploaded them and make sure that they're right. We've seen people that have uploaded the wrong photo of a fish, and like the mouth is cut off or something, and that fish gets denied. Don't make that mistake. Safety stuff. PFD must be worn at all times on the outside of your clothing. So if you've got a jacket on, put the PFD over the jacket, not under the jacket. The only exception to wearing your PFD is if you need to change. If you're taking off or putting on layers, you can stop fishing, put your rod down, take the PFD off, change whatever layers you need to, put the PFD back on, zip it up, and then you can continue fishing. If we catch you without a PFD, we're going to DQ you. This is absolute hard line. There's no gray area on this one at all. We take this one very seriously. A safety flag is required at all times. You get a warning on this if we see you without your flag or without your light, 360 light down here. We'll tell you, hey, you need to get that fixed. And you have a chance to go and do that, even if it means getting off the water and going to your car and getting a flag or borrowing a flag from somebody. You'll have a chance to do that. But if we warn you and you continue fishing, then you're going to get DQ'd. The event flags. We've got yellow event flags that are required in Washington. They're not required in Oregon. They're not required in Idaho, but we recommend people use them. We will have those for sale at the pre-event briefing if you want to buy one. If you have one of those flags, just don't use it as your flag all the time. It's meant to show law enforcement that there's a tournament going on and that you're participating in it. So it makes zero sense for you to be using it in official practice or when you're out fun fishing. Just use it for the event itself. 360 light is required in low light, same as the flag, sort of, except this one, if you don't have a light, then you just need to wait until sunrise, until line's in, and then you can launch. Safety first. All of us need to be looking out for each other on the water. If you see here another angler in trouble, stop fishing and immediately go to them to help. If you have any questions about this event or the rules in general, reach out to Matthew Burdick or myself, Marvin Forte. Look forward to seeing you on the water. Thanks.